Come on. Okay,
I was going off the dome, man. Like before they made YouTube, they used to call me, and I fell back. And I saw your list last night. You had that Nelly sweat suit, right?
No, I had to plan, but I get it.
You're gonna have females come up in there a whole lot too. Well, we'll play a card in the scene.
So we finna go ahead and start this out the right way.
Welcome, and happy hump day, happy Wednesday. We are here in all our glory. I have two of my favorite people with me right now. Well, four of my favorite people with me right now. But I got two beside me. Tina, I saw that. I can see you here when you make them faces.
I was
counting. Welcome. We are back, episode 9, season 1. We are talking about Juneteenth and nonprofit organizations. We got Jamal and Tina with us, and we are really going to not play cards this time. We're doing stuff I can do, talk and learn and really embrace some great stuff. My usual suspects are in the background already.
Doing what we do.
Getting on my last nerves.
Doing what we do best.
Oh, give us a friend. All right, so what we're going to do is definitely allow our guests to introduce themselves. So first, who will start with? You want to go?
Oh, ladies first.
Hey, all right, Tina.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tina Torres. I'm the executive director of the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Well,
peace and blessings, everyone. My name is Jamal Bradley. I'm the president and founder of the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest.
Boom.
Record name tags.
They do. They got name tags.
I'm gonna need one of those.
Well, you already know us. We are the official podcast for the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest. So we are excited to have them here. We really appreciate the opportunity. We appreciate you all considering us. And we truly appreciate the ability to have this conversation with you. I thought you were trying to have a name tag, Kirk. I was about to say, not now. So we are definitely going to jump right in and go and ask the important questions today. One of the biggest ones is, what is Juneteenth?
He was literally just schooling on it.
Before we got on.
If I can. So Juneteenth is an annual celebration that commemorates the emancipation of some of the last enslaved people who were in Galveston, Texas. There are many different emancipation celebrations, but this is the more widely known one. And for the last almost 6 years, we've been hosting it here in South Carolina, the alpha of slavery, which is a good thing that we're here now. And it's some things in the work to actually make it a state holiday.
Right.
Wow.
We know it was made a federal holiday. The city of Columbia made it a city holiday, but Senator Darrell Jackson and some other members are working to make it a state holiday. That I know it's passed in the Senate, and we're just waiting on the House. So all you brothers in the House or everyone out there, call your representative and tell them to vote yes to making Juneteenth a state holiday in South Carolina.
Is that going to be on the next primary ballot?
It'll actually go in the, they'll actually have that at another session. Yeah, it won't be on the ballot. So that's some things that'll get taken care of, you know, how they take care of it over a golf game or whatever, however they do it down there at the State House, you know what I'm saying? So just hope that Jermaine Johnson down there and Ty Rutherford could get that expedited, so we don't have to celebrate
City name.
Confederate Memorial Day.
Let's go, Jermaine.
So what made you all take on the task of the Juneteenth Freedom Fest? I know Tina and I talking, and I know that she pushes and puts a lot of work. God knows you do too, because she always says you and her and your team do quite a bit with everything you do. And I know it's not easy. I know it's work, but what made you all take on the task of giving us that celebration here?
So I got to give credit where it's due. And, there's a saying behind every good man is a strong woman. And Juneteenth was actually my wife's idea. It's just that everybody wanted to make it like a party thing. And we celebrate a lot here, but nothing culturally significant.
Right.
In 2017, we decided to host our first event. We did it at a Black business, Harambe Ethiopian restaurant downtown. It was as things start out, it was as expected, but we knew we wanted to, reach more people. So I reached out to somebody who is connected in that. It's one thing to know what it is that you want to do, but knowing how you want to do it, how it's going to get done. I needed help with that. And that's where we brought in Miss Tina Torres on our second year. And since she's been involved, I got to say our growth has been exponential. I mean, the first event was, 40, 50 people. And last year's event was 20,000. So that's a lot of phone calls, emails.
Year 1 to year 6, you went from 40 people to 20,000 people
in 6 years.
That's amazing. Congratulations on that. That is
amazing. That's major.
Y'all expecting a bigger crowd this year? Same numbers?
Yes. We weren't anticipating 20,000 people last year. The year before that, we had 4,500 on Main Street, off of Main Street on Colonial, I think Columbia Drive.
So in 1 year, y'all added 15,000 people.
Yes.
But 4,000 is still a rather large event in South Carolina, especially in Columbia. Mm-hmm. But to crank out 20,000 people, that's major.
It is. We noticed that people love good music. And when there's good music, there's good food, there's vendors, there's shopping and all of that. And so last year we also initiated a job fair on site. We actually found out that people were hired right on the job, right on the site. So what we believe in is that when you have that many people in one area, you bring the tools for them to be able to use later on.
Right.
You understand? So it's important for us to have things of that magnitude because we care about ourselves. We care about our village. We care about our brothers, our sisters, our children, our children's children. And so we are the only festival that has a job fair on site, the only one. There's a lot of things that I researched to make sure that we are, creating the edge that others will have to follow. We're the only ones that have a home buyer seminar, the only ones that have a financial literacy. We're the only ones that at one point was having the gala. Now everybody's having a gala, and that's fine. But we recognize that there's a need for education, need for that knowledge. And so Jamal and I and a part of, some of our team members, we make sure that we bring that to the forefront.
No, definitely got to be more impactful than entertaining, but we are going to be entertaining. Mm-hmm. We got last year we had the Manhattans and Chubb Rock and Nelly Tiger Travis and Seven Sunday and a host of other local artists. But this year we have the Whispers, we have Vivian Green, Nappy Roots, Rob Bass, and a host of local artists. And Dondria. So, and we're at the South Carolina State Fairgrounds this year instead of Dutch Square, but we think it's going to be a great turnout.
So this event, it's not just on the 19th. Y'all have like a few days that this spans over, correct?
We have 10.
10 days that lead up to the 19th?
Well, I mean, we just have 10 days of events.
Okay.
So we have, it starts on the 10th of June.
I ain't tell them
which is going to be Juneteenth at Sagra Park. They reached out and said that they wanted to participate because they wanted to be more involved in the African American community. We threw some stuff at them. They accepted it. And so now Friday night, we will have Juneteenth at Segra Park, which would mean that Jamal would throw the first punch. I mean, the first pitch.
We're not slapping anybody or
I mean, I know it's a freedom fest and all. Jeez.
Take that back. Rewind.
The president got locked up on Freedom Day.
He bought his name tag. He wears a name tag. He's not here for no trouble.
Yeah, take that name tag off. So he's gonna throw the first pitch, but we will also have a parade of children that will be able to go down and be able to do a parade on the baseball field. Nice. And they've given us a suite upstairs. They've discounted the tickets to $5. And also, if there are some who cannot make it, they're making a way for them to be able to come in the doors. So that's Friday night. Saturday will be our Juneteenth at the park. It'll be a half a day from about 11 to 4 or 5. And it's just going to be at a park at an amphitheater. It'll just be some food, some vendors, some music on the stage. People can bring their blankets and stuff like that. So that's going to be that Saturday, the 11th. Monday is our home buyer seminar with Melinda Song Alford and Southern First Bank. Tuesday is financial literacy with Southern First Bank.
I need to be at that.
Wednesday is our Juneteenth panel, which they will be discussing with the elders. They will be discussing past, present, and what that means for us for the future in Irmo Park. On Thursday will be our meet and greet at Honda's by Steve Paget in Irmo. Friday will be our Juneteenth gala at the Marriott Hotel. Along the side of that, at the same time, we are opening the state fairgrounds up for a carnival for the youth, where the youth will be the vendors. They will also be the DJ. They will also, the carnival. So it's youth night, which Jamal will be at that event and I will be at the gala.
No pinching and punching, right?
Nah.
And then Saturday and Sunday are our Juneteenth Freedom Festival, the 6th annual. And Monday, for the very first time, we will have a parade, a Juneteenth parade, straight down Main Street from Laurel to Lady.
So you know how y'all thought that it was just like, that Saturday and Sunday, it was us?
We didn't think that we were told.
Yeah, that's what we said.
So what had happened is we like all week, but especially Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Cool.
We would like for you guys to be present. We believe that there may be some who really don't know about Juneteenth, and we want them to know about it. And there may be some who aren't able to come, who are home watching. So it's important for us to have a podcast, especially African-American brothers and sisters who are able to showcase that. Also be able to meet the artists. There are some that are performing that are local that may have never had the opportunity to be on a podcast just yet. And so that welcomes that. And plus, we wanted to give you guys first dibs to have the interviews with the national recording artists as well.
Appreciate that.
Podcasts are like the new wave, you know what I'm saying? That's where,
It is.
you know what I'm saying? That's how you can reach a lot of people. And definitely, Juneteenth is a teachable moment, and it's planned well, so it should be covered well. So,
Right.
She giving y'all the short version on some of that stuff. It's a joke. It's a joke we use. She says she's the white girl on Hustle and Flow.
Yeah.
So last year,
Why? Wait, he about to tell you. He about to tell you why.
So last year, and this is why Tina's now the executive director, because she has the ability to do it, and she does a great job at it. But last year, I was in the hospital for maybe a month or more, and I'm sitting in there. What are we gonna do? DJ. And she's like, "Oh my God, what we gotta do? What we gotta do?" And everything that needed to get done, in that time, she handled it. She handled it, and that's her thing. She did that, and she did that. So, of course, we're grateful to have her as a part of what it is that we're doing. But the home buyers thing came in. We were having the discussion. How do we make this more impactful for the community that we're presenting it to?
Right.
Because again, a feel-good moment, man, we do that every weekend here. You know what I'm saying? We can get together, go to any club and listen to music and everything like that. But something with some substance that's really going to benefit the community. How do we get there? So we start looking at the things that impact our community. And home ownership here in South Carolina is a thing that impacts our community. A lot of us are renting.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because we need that second piece, which I feel like the financial literacy piece should be first and then home buyers. But, that's how it's falling. But you can go on, websites like the Commission for Minority Affairs and look at the statistics of what affects our community. So based on the census, South Carolina has 3.1 million African Americans that live here.
That's people who filled it out.
And that's people who filled it out.
That's right.
It's probably, might be closer to 4.
Yeah,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? So, but out of that number, 1 out of every 4 homes in South Carolina is owned by an African American. So think about all of the homes that you ride by and all that. You know what I'm saying? Just say 1 out of every 4 is owned by an African American. So we, on the first year, partnered with Melinda Song, who headed that up, and they did a fantastic job. For the first year of it being attended, they actually had more people at that than we had at our first Juneteenth.
Wow.
So it just speaks to the work that we're doing, and it's good to have people crazy enough to follow you.
The good cool thing about the Juneteenth festival y'all have is not catering towards just inner city. I see different races, different ethnicities out there.
Everybody.
And that's cool because you're schooling a whole. You're schooling people about culture, and at the same time, you're making us proud to understand what our culture is. I just think that's just cool. The financial literacy and the home owner and buyership, because the buying power and the black dollar in the community is not emphasized enough to the black consumer. So I think that's just totally cool. My thing is this: how do you go about trying to capture the youth's attention, as we spoke earlier, with the artists that you have to choose? You were saying how strategic you have to be about certain artists.
Well, it's the event. It's the event overall. We're a family-oriented event, and in fact, we're growing beyond the event, and we're looking at more of focusing on the nonprofit side of it. So, in focusing on the youth, last year we worked with a group, and the year before last, we worked with a group called the Young CEOs and Leaders of Tomorrow. So that group has a bunch of youth doing all types of things, and we did an event with them last year as well, and that was the Juneteenth Youth Kickoff. And that's almost the same way we're doing it this year with the youth vendor event at the state fairgrounds on that Friday with the carnival and everything. So that's empowering our youth to become entrepreneurs. And eventually we'll get to the point where we're teaching them about financial literacy and starting a business and everything like that. And most of them, the ones that attended, have businesses, the ones that attended the event last year. And we're opening that up for young vendors and young business owners to come out and hold and showcase their products and services. So it's a saying, when you don't have no babies crying in the church, you might as well close the doors because you don't got no future. So we're working on ways to target the youth so that Juneteenth doesn't become the old people's event.
Exactly.
And we reaching all generations.
Right.
So how do y'all get y'all word out? I mean, to go from 4,500 to 20,000 in a matter of 12 months. And I'm asking because before I got on this committee, I didn't even know about this festival.
So starting out, everything was social media and passing out flyers. Everything was, grassroots and generic stuff. And then social media, with Facebook, everything was social media. Last year, we're bringing in national recording artists. You get, promotion from, local media outlets like Watch Fox, who is a media sponsor. And we in the works with a few of the local radio stations. So that's how the word gets out.
We recognize that social media can only do but so much.
That's true.
Especially when you have national recording artists, because in all actuality, we all kind of, it's crazy, but we're all kind of like in the same circle. So sometimes it kind of just goes around. So with us having a media sponsor such as Watch Fox 57, their reach is much broader than ours. And so it allows it to get further out. And then working with, of course, KISS 103.1, and then maybe some other local radio stations. That also helps as well, depending on the broad of their capacity. When you're bringing in artists such as the Whispers or Raw Bass, Vivian Green, it's touching somebody different. And they're spreading that word. We've had people say, "Oh my God, Vivian Green is coming. Oh my God, Raw Bass is coming." You know what I'm saying? So, Nappy Roots, I didn't even know about Nappy Roots until he told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So it's different things like that, and just finding ways to be able to cater to every single one. And so that's why now having Watch Fox as our media sponsor, then having some of their local radio stations as well, is important to do that, because your social media can only reach but so far unless you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars for it to spread out. Why not pay thousands of dollars to be featured on Watch Fox 57 or KISS 103.1, where there's a broader reach?
So it is amazing that all of this that you all do is through a nonprofit. And there are so many people who have visions for nonprofits. They want to go out, they want to help. But many people do not understand how to start, where to start, or what to do. So I know that you mentioned that you and your wife started it, or her idea came to you, but then you all started it. How was that, being the founder of a nonprofit, that 501c3 process, and just kind of getting it off the ground?
Well, just like everything else that you lack the knowledge on, it's a little frustrating. Again, it started as an event. Right. It started as just the Juneteenth event, but the more you grow, the more you see the need to fulfill certain things in the community. You have to have that structure, that nonprofit structure, or either a LLC. Well, having that nonprofit structure makes you, tax exempt. And then having your charities and everything like that, you can collect donations and all of that stuff. Thank you, Kiwan, for Kiwan Fitch Webster for Just Finch. I'm sorry. That's right. But and she has an organization called Journey Towards Purpose, and she helps people get their nonprofit organizations off the ground and make sure that you're staying compliant. And she's on our executive team, so she's a great help.
Juan's a good person.
So how was it applying for the 501c3?
Like everything, worth it. It's a process. It's you fill out your paperwork.
And the EIN is free, but
It was seamless.
Yeah.
Because when you give the work to somebody that knows how to just get it in, get it done, and get it out the way, I'm the fast talker. It's simple. So she handled the paperwork. She submitted it. We paid her, submitted it, got it back, and now everything is just rolling. She did that Community Advocate Foundation. She's done it for several of my clients. So it makes sense to get you somebody who knows what they're doing.
Incredible.
Vet them first. Make sure that they know. And it doesn't hurt to ask them, who have you worked with before? Because oftentimes people come on the scene and they say they've done this, they've done that. And once you start working with them, you find out that they haven't.
Right.
So you want to ask for their references. There's nothing wrong with that. Nowadays you have to. There's too many scams going on. Yes. So Kawan Fitch has definitely been a beacon within all of this, and she handled all of that for Juneteenth.
So you and I have had conversations about grants, and not everybody knows about, we all talk about wanting to get a grant, but there's a lot that comes in with grant. There's getting the funding, there's making sure you use the funding for the right places, but getting a grant writer is huge.
Right. We have to vet those people too. We have one on our team, Kiana Spruill. She handles that stuff for us. And she's highly recommended. And then also Patrick Patterson is top notch. He's definitely a person to go see. But again, you have to be careful with people coming out saying, we can get you this, we can get you that. The first time I came out trying to get grants or whatever, I was scammed. And so, I've been very wary of that. Now I make sure I don't have to worry about it with Kiana. She handles all of that stuff. And Don't worry.
And you do have people out there saying, you'll see a post every now and then, oh, we do this, we do that. And then you ask them, man, who have you done it for? And
they have no answer.
yeah, they have no answer. But, everybody out here hustling.
But you gotta treat them like a job
But
too.
you got to.
Jobs ask for references.
They do.
They want to know who you worked with before, and do you have your 3 references? And so now you got to get to a point where you ask them, what's your three top references? There's nothing wrong with it.
Let me ask you, what was the biggest challenge? Because I know y'all went from the small number and y'all got to the big number.
Mhm.
I want to know what was the biggest challenge, the biggest obstacle you had to get over, and I want to know exactly what was the reaction from your initial one of them, and they didn't believe you, from you now getting a reaction to, oh yeah, come on in, we want to back it.
So
We need your blueprint.
You the fast talker.
We need your blueprint. Let's go.
This gets good.
so I'm it's hard for me to trust, and so it's very hard for me to delegate.
He had that same problem.
Dang.
So the thing that works for me is that I love to see people smile. So it's very difficult for me to not see a project through. One of the most difficult things that that we've encountered is the fact of how fast we grew. To go from 4,500 people to 20,000 people in a parking lot at Dutch Square Mall will always be my thing. 20,000 people in a parking lot at Dutch Square Mall. That itself spoke volumes on the type of work that Jamal and I do. And the fact that he was down for the time that he was down, we still made it happen. Because that was our biggest one. The fact that he was in the hospital, he was fighting COVID, he was fighting, all these other things that he was experiencing because of COVID. It was very hard to be out there by myself. But I found strength in order to be able to do it, because I knew that as long as I was doing it, he was believing enough in himself and myself to know that I'm going to pull through and everything's going to be okay. Right. So it's just a matter, you got to stay the course. You just got to stay the course. You got to stay on top of it. You're going to cry, you're going to fuss, you're going to yell. There's multiple times that Jamal and I have argued, and we'll laugh at each other and be like, what's the problem?
Yeah, brother, sisters.
But you got to have
twice or 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times a year, yeah. But you have to stay the course. You have to know that what you're doing is something that is genuine, that it has meaning, right, that it's going to be impactful. And you have to not be concerned about what he, she, they, and whomever are saying. Because, all around us, there was people throwing Juneteenth this, Juneteenth that, and, that's okay. When we saw 20,000 people in the parking lot, we knew that we were doing the right thing.
What's scary, that was COVID too.
It was
been 24,000, 25,000.
It could have been. And were we prepared? We were not. But we didn't have anything to worry about. Right. Because everything that we did, it was genuine. And God covered us the whole time. Right. It even rained a little bit. But we hung in there. So you have to, the struggle is staying the course. And notice that things are gonna come up. Money's gonna be tight. But you have to keep the faith. You have to remember who got you to this point. Right. If it wasn't for Jamal, half the things that I do now, I probably wouldn't be doing them. That brother put me on the map. So now it's my job to make sure I put others on the map. And that's how we work this thing. Right. But keeping the course and keeping your faith is
key.
Is key.
Black Lives Matter last year, well, even 2020, when that sparked, you all gave us an outlet to be able to express it here in a positive way, because there were a lot of other things happening. There were, people marching. There were people coming and tearing up different things. They were mad. People were angry, but it was a celebration. I mean, you could see people as far as the eye could see when people went live last year.
Well, the year before that, if I may, the year before that is when the riot took place downtown. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Initially, that's when like COVID was really bad, and all of that, right? And and you noticed everybody was canceling things, and we didn't want to cancel Juneteenth. That was our 4th year, and Jamal said, "I guess I need to make the announcement," and I said, "I guess so." We canceled it.
He was fighting.
He was fighting it so bad. So we ended up putting the announcement out that Juneteenth has to cancel its festival this year, right? Because New Orleans had canceled theirs, and everybody was canceling. The riot took place. Jamal called. I saw that name pop up on my phone. I said,
So I don't want to call them, I don't want to say riots because people had a right
it
to
was
be
a frustration
Yeah,
moment.
people had a
That's
right
what
to
it
be
was.
upset at what was going on. The whole thing with George Floyd is what sparked it all.
Yes.
The whole thing about Donald Trump doing a protest, doing a rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma during the weekend of Juneteenth brought attention to it. But a lot of people were like, man, it's all of this, just negative energy in the air, man. Y'all gotta have Juneteenth. So I called her and I was like, now I want y'all to keep in mind, this was 3 weeks
prior.
This was 3 weeks. No, we waited a little while before we said okay.
Oh, yeah.
But this was 3 weeks before Juneteenth.
So pretty much June 1st.
We had right.
Wow.
So 2 weeks before the event, she did that. She did that. And the word got out and we had a good time. We had a good time. You seen that same frustrated community, and you seen the police chief and everybody out there, council members and everybody out there enjoying themselves, enjoying a community event. We didn't host the event to negate or make anything else that happened irrelevant.
Right.
But we did what we do.
We brought the
And that-
community back together.
Yeah.
And staying consistent in that
That's huge.
got us to the point where we could have 20,000 people in a parking lot. So like she said, the biggest thing is staying consistent. And yeah, it do get frustrating and it is hard. Right now, people will look and say, oh, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that. And, the checks is rolling in. So if you do want to sponsor the event, you can go to our website, Juneteenth Freedom Fest. And get the packet, but I'm going to speak fast for that one.
It's funny you say that because one of the questions that came up is how do interested persons go about that? They said volunteer, not sponsoring. But
Yes, you
No.
can visit our website, JuneteenthFreedomFest.com, and there are several links on there. So if you want to be a vendor, if you want to participate in the parade, if you want to get tickets, you can do all of those things from our website.
The list of all the events that she ran off earlier is gonna be on there.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, what we do here at CPS. I know it. I don't know if everybody else knows you're a hip hop head. So when you listen to these days, and due to the fact you're in the community, you're so prevalent on our culture, whatever, where do you think the state of hip hop is right now for our culture?
It's with everything, it's pros and cons, right? So you got people out there making great music.
Oh man, that sounds like the damn political answer. I asked you a question. I asked you a simple question.
All right, let me
Give me your artist.
Symbolic.
Tell me how you feel like the artists today, the impact they have on our community.
They're trash.
I can say it. I can say it. It's having a really negative impact on our
Right.
community. I mean, you're promoting, drugs, violence, and everything like that, and these young kids are out here reacting to it. In the last month, we had 29 shootings here in Columbia.
yes,
And that's it's not all the music, but the music has an influence on those young people. And which is why, earlier I said we want to make sure that we have a good family function where everybody from all ages and all demographics can celebrate. And that's, like I said earlier, just like a DJ controls the crowd at a party, the music and the
Controls the
entertainment,
crowd, yeah.
it controls the crowd.
I
So
agree. I concur wholeheartedly.
if you want to fight listening to the whispers, man, you got
Something
a
wrong with
lot.
you. Something wrong with you.
You know what I'm saying? We can't fix you. You need to go
Right,
somewhere else.
right,
And,
right.
So which artists do you feel you have?
Tina does yoga.
y'all gonna get off my seat and her yoga. Her energy is at peace right now.
It is. I think you have to have when we put the call out for performers, local performers, to be able to perform on the stage, we pay attention to what they're submitting.
Right.
We make it very clear that it has to be family oriented. And we do that because there's children out there, there's babies, there's elderly out there. And nobody wants to come to an event where they're listening to somebody go off on the mic with the curse words and the being very sexual explicit and stuff like that. I don't. And I mean, I'm about to be 50 this year. And so I definitely don't
50?
hear
I'm
that.
like 41 or something.
Nah, 50. And so I'm
She lying,
very
that's clout.
dang.
Dang.
But I cover the grade. If you work on this staff with Juneteenth, you got to cover it.
He coming
Sanitation.
Look at me. Hard work right here.
Right. So to me, when you ask that question of Jamal about the hip hop music for today, it's not hip hop.
Right.
It's trash.
What's your era of hip
So
hop?
I mean, mine is back with Big Daddy Kane,
Okay.
Fat Boys.
So you
You
can't wait for
know,
Rob Bass to hit the stage.
I can't wait. I actually am planning a DJ battle just before he gets on the stage.
Y'all, let me
With,
tell y'all about what
So
happened.
you know, that's where I'm at with that. Like that music today, I can't even stand to listen to it. I won't attend it. You know, you got people fighting at a concert.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? And one of the rappers is like, I'm used to this type of activity at my shows. I mean, that type of stuff is ridiculous.
That's not good, right?
So when are we gonna? So we change the narrative when we have the festival.
Right.
We don't do that.
Let me
Right.
tell y'all about Tina and how ready she is for Rob Bass. A couple of weeks ago, me and Tina, was it last week? Maybe a week ago, me and Tina went to eat across the street. And the girl asked, "Who is Rob Bass?" And me and Tina looked. And I looked at Tina and I said,
16.
No,
17.
she was 30 something.
Yeah.
And so I said, I want to rock right now. Tina went in, I'm Rob Bass and I came to get that. I'm not internationally known. And we did the whole thing.
We did the whole thing. Like you and that's the type of music that I'm familiar with.
She's
So
34.
when
You know what? She could be 34 now who Rob Bass is.
when you talk about a
That's what
summertime,
it.
when you talk about summertime cookout vibe,
Right.
Yeah.
it's probably like in your top 5.
Right. I live for.
That it takes us who got to be in that top 5.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we had Chubb Rock last year, so you know what I'm
You
saying?
have to. I mean, on that Sunday we'll have.
So
You see what I'm saying?
one thing he said when he performed last year, in the middle of his set, is, you know, do you notice in my set how I don't promote any violence and I'm not calling
did.
women out of their names and I'm not cussing and anything? Man, you can still make good music without making somebody feel like crap. Just like you can still tell funny jokes without getting slapped.
So which artist y'all feel that's going to be this year is going to appeal to the youth, since we're not going to have the explicit stuff? Like who should they, you know, who they coming out to? Because I'm sure y'all know my nieces don't want to come see the Whispers.
Well,
Right.
who would they come see?
Nobody that's going to be there.
But who would they come see?
The baby, little
Yeah, no.
baby,
Yeah,
the
no.
other baby.
No.
I understand we're not gonna have that. So who do y'all feel is the one that mostly appeal to the youth? To me, like you said, you want to hit all generations.
So I'll be honest.
Rob Bass white, because if you
No.
think about
You
Fortnite
just
and
told me
all those
34
things,
women didn't know who Rob Bass was.
So
she
as
did
far-
when we rapped.
as far as them coming out to see those artists, I wouldn't expect anybody under maybe 30 to say,
Yeah.
I'm going out to see them.
I'm going to see them. Okay.
But while you out there, who gonna get them? All of them. All of them.
Okay. I like that answer.
So Chubb Rock said, while he was doing his thing, and he does a mix of his songs and some other classic songs, the entire parking lot was violent.
I mean, he was that nice.
From knee high to the ones that look 10 times older than me. But everybody, everybody, yeah, I mean, from all generations, and we were complimented on that, and people said, I like that y'all had something for everybody.
Mhm.
Now we will work in the future to be more, to cater a little bit more to the youth, but again,
I think
it
it is.
It's got to be
I-
something.
it's
else,
groups
though.
out-
No, I think it did.
It's-
Let me
it's
tell you
groups
why I
out
think
there.
it did.
Don't-
And not to interrupt you, I just want to give y'all flowers while you're here. As I sat and listened to y'all lineup,
Right.
it sounded like BET 1994.
It does.
It sounded like BET from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m., where it was beneficial with Teen Summit. It was good for my videos. It gave me a movie that, you know, that I wasn't alone in this world. And it's others across the world that can relate. So I want y'all to understand, like, that's hard to pull off. That's on the camera. That's what being edited. That's what being cut,
Right.
chopped, snipped. Y'all did this on a wham. You understand? So like, it's gonna get scary this year. This year, I think it's gonna be just crazy. But like, that's what y'all provided. Y'all provided a workshop. Y'all provided financial literacy. You provided how you buy homes. You're allowing young people to get this experience and get exposed to entrepreneurship, rejection, gaining a profit. Like, this is needed. And I know I'm not trying to get personal here, but I'm saying like, it's so needed. That's why it's the largest in the U.S. You got to understand what you're doing that differentiates you from others. But you never told me your hip hop artist, bro. I want to give you flowers.
She jumped in with Big Daddy Kane.
I want to give you flowers, but I just want the question answered.
Now he don't realize that every episode we've done, you have chimed in, especially with the one hit wonder. Oh no, the Ghost Riders.
Hold on, let me take my name tag off. So I mean,
because he don't know you wrote music.
90s hip hop.
Yeah, 20 more minutes.
So first of all, I was in a record. I was the vice president of a record label called Floss Records that came out of Ridgeway. They the biggest song that came out the record label was Mr. Flip You Damn Right. So that I was vice president of that record label.
What happened with that? Because a lot of they say it went to Mr. Flip.
The thing that first Little Rue, T Supreme, all of them was on our record label before they went down to How You Love That. But they was all of them people come from Ridgeway. You know, T Supreme and them from Columbia, you know what I'm saying? Little Rue from Winsboro and all of that stuff like that. Doing that was huge. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't much of a, Southern rapper, and I could have been on You Damn Right, but I said no. But and that was Flip's, one of his biggest songs. That was his biggest song. You know what I mean? But I like 90s stuff, man. I'm Mobb Deep, Capone, Noriega, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? That's Nas, Jay-Z, all of them. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the big ones.
Nas before Jay-Z, or you said
Oh
Jay-Z?
God, here we go.
He said Nas first. You said the best for last. So.
No.
Oh God,
You tried
why you do that?
You tried it.
You were on a roll.
I do that. Nas and Jay-Z.
You've been a whole inspiration this whole show, and now you're going
He's
to
inspiring those who listen.
So
There you go.
I'm and being completely honest, I probably wasted like a whole year listening to It Was Written. That's one of my favorite albums.
See how you said it.
You can't say wasted. That's what I was almost offended. Like, that's one of my favorite albums. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite albums.
A year wasted.
So Nas's creativity is almost unmatched. You know how he flips words and everything like that. His storytelling, but Nas has not produced a quality album in a while. Now his new stuff I heard was,
What?
good.
Yeah,
shoot. I made you look.
King Disease 1, 2, and Magic. Those are classics, bro.
They're pretty dope. I ain't gonna tell you lie.
The last 18 months, he dropped 3
They're
classics.
pretty dope.
In the last 18 months.
Nick said he definitely said Nas.
So that's a big gap. That's a big gap from
Stillmatic.
Yeah, right.
Stillmatic was a classic.
That's a big gap from Stillmatic. You know what I'm saying? So you got
one was the other was that's one hat out there.
Your man got a regurgitated album.
Hey,
Oh, here you go.
The same. It ain't.
I'll say this.
You asked the guest, he gave you the answer.
No, I want to hear what he said. You said
I'll say this. Jay-Z put out a call. Everybody else, except other artists, fought for it, right? They said Wayne could go against Jay-Z. No other artist stepped up to that challenge. So we didn't get a Jay-Z battle. So who is better than Jay-Z?
Oh
man,
There's a lot of people that come up cold in here. Nobody answered the call.
There's a lot of people. Lil Wayne got 20 songs.
That's like me telling you right now, man, let's go out there and shoot the one. And if you don't come outside, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
No.
Man got a point there.
He got a point there. In the battle on the verses, I'm going Jay over Nas because Nas doesn't have more mainstream
You heard that.
hits over Jay. That don't mean Jay's a better rapper. Jay has more pop albums. And that's what pop
For the first time in history, Kirk has said he goes for Jay over Nas.
In a versus, far as
No. Your sentence don't matter. I don't want to hear your subject or your predicate. What you said was,
what are you doing?
you just said, I've never heard you say that.
Yeah, I'm telling the truth. In the verses,
Oh,
he
okay.
has more commercial hits.
I'm floored.
He's not a better rapper. By far, he's not. He's good. He's all right, but he's not real.
So you heard the guy who said it?
Yeah.
He used that against your guy, didn't he?
Hey, he made it on
I'm
our
just
verse.
saying,
I just
man.
made it on our podcast. I made it a hot line.
You made it a hot line? You made it a hot line.
Rhyme. I was okay. Just for what y'all bring to the table, man. Just Juneteenth, just awesome, man. How do you see this progressing for Columbia, as well as the event itself within the next 3 to 5 years? I want to go 10.
So we're at year 6, right?
Doing everything she was doing to look down.
And she's back.
We're in year 6, right?
Yeah.
So by
You
year
said
10,
Mark, she blacked out.
So I,
Y'all said Jay-Z and Nas.
so
She said
Jamal
information.
hasn't told y'all this, but about 50 years ago,
50.
we're coming up on 50 years ago, basically. South Carolina State Fairgrounds used to have a black fair and a white fair. We coming back.
Never knew that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for the next couple of years, we do plan on growing, and it's not going to stop. It's probably still going to be 10
Take that,
days.
take that.
It
I'm
may
so
be
about to
12
hit the case now,
days.
most
Now she
You
did that.
know.
She did it.
Uh,
I told you that we won't stop. Take that. Take that.
No,
take
we're
that.
gonna knock us out. Right now, we're at 2 days. We may maintain the 2.5 days, actually. We may maintain the 2.5 days for another year so that we can make sure that we are steady, securing our foot into the ground. We jumped every year. Jamal has had a vision that has been huge. And so we don't walk, we jump, we run, you know what I'm saying? We jump our roller skates and we go. So next year, it'll be year 7, no telling, but year 10, that brother gonna be able to have everything he want at the festival.
Right.
If he
let's
want,
have a skate party next year.
if he wants to have Beyonce, he gonna have her. If he wants to have New Edition, he gonna have her, because he has really provided platforms for us as African Americans here in South Carolina to be able to do the things that we do.
Right.
We have vendors coming from all different states. We even have vendors coming from Texas, Virginia, North Carolina, Atlanta, Rhode Island,
I think
Florida.
that's so amazing.
We also have vendors coming from Charleston. Charleston has several Juneteenth,
But they want to
but
be
we
the
have
one
vendors coming from there.
That's
That lets
dope.
us know that what we are doing, we're doing it right.
Well, you saying doing it right. That's cool, but it's got to be a trick, because you're taking a year in between this gap, and you got to have a certain amount of followers, constituents.
Mhm.
What is Juneteenth organization doing in between the time of Juneteenth besides planning? That gives you so much backing and recognition. I know you're always at an event.
Mhm.
You're always at an event. So besides spreading love the Metro way, did we plug that? Where's the camera? Where's the camera?
Right there beside
Right beside you.
Listen. No, but like, how are y'all able to sustain this hunger, this infectious feeling that you have for the community? How are you all able to just do that and keep that count just growing?
Well, one, we know it's needed.
Right.
I'm the nurturing piece of the
Supply and demand.
team,
Right.
and he's the visionary. So whenever he thinks of something that he knows is needed within our community, whether it's for the kids or for the adults, things like that, I search it to make sure, is it happening? If it's not happening, and even if it is happening, how do we make it better? So we used to have an event called Black History. What was it? Black History in the Arts.
Black History Through the Arts.
Through the arts, where we brought artists together who, did a lot of music or whatever, which was considered artful. And we're getting back into that. We're getting into our home buyer seminar, not just for the week of Juneteenth, but having more of those throughout the year. We will also be having our literacy. We'll also have trainings. There are things there are a lot of cracked foundations right now, right? And it's not, and although everyone's like, we got to target the kids, we got to talk to the kids, kids still go back to a broken home. Right. They're going back to a home where they're being molested, raped, sexually assaulted, Parents are unhappy with their jobs. It's so much going on. So our goal is to continue to put forth programs that allows people to know that it's not just a Juneteenth celebration. We hear about education. We hear about to find out about jobs, to find out about medical, all types of stuff. So we're so gung-ho about educating and about providing assistance. That's what keeps us motivated.
But before we do all of that, we're gonna take a much needed break. We're gonna take a much needed break because it's a lot that goes into it's 10 days right now, but it's a lot that go into that. It's a whole lot that go into that.
You better not add another.
She called the keyword. You need to say right now.
So we had 10 days of events, but it's a lot that go into that. A lot of phone calls, a lot of meetings, a lot of emails, a whole lot. And
They work around the clock.
And I tell you right now, my family say, man, don't tell Jamal to come because he's gonna be up here talking about Juneteenth. That's all I talk about. That's all I talk about.
That's all you know.
But it has to be a time to reconnect with family, keep those bonds strong. The things that make you whole as a person, you got to be able to do that. But then after that, we're going to get into planning and figuring out what programs are needed, where they need it, and how we could be more effective for our community.
When you saying being more effective for the community, and you saying programs are needed and getting back to family, it all runs a circle. So let me ask you this: on this approach, is it more beneficial to go after the child, or is it more beneficial to go after the parent? Which is more challenging because most peers our age are pretty much set in their ways. Is it easy to work with a child so you can mold them? But like you said, you're going back to the same situation. So do we have to work with the parents? Where, as us in the community who are throwing these events to the community, I know how the turnouts be. Where do you feel as if though the need is? The child or the parent of the child?
It's not an either or answer to that. It's
So
both.
It's both simultaneously.
It's both and. It's both and. Because
lean on me, man. We better lean on me, man. You remember the mom and lean on me. I don't love her no more.
Because it's so many. It's so first of all, anytime anything happened, they call Tina. They inbox me, man, y'all got to come out to this thing. We doing this march. We doing this rally. We got this group. We got this coalition. We part of this organization. So they put those calls out. And when you go out to those communities, you know, I know growing up how I grew up, I know what hopelessness looked like. So I know when I see it on another face. So we working to change that. And it's no one way. No one person has the answer to all of that.
Right.
Man, if I did, I'd be rich. Because
right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But and it ain't even about money, but no one person has all the answers. It's connecting with, and I put this out in a post. It's not all prayer that works. Don't get me wrong. Praying is key. You know what I'm saying? That's your connection to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? But it also says faith without work is dead. So it comes to a point where we say, I pray this changes, and then go out there and be that change. So I put this in a post and I said, connect with organizations whose mission you feel like lines up with how you feel. We can't say, oh, the church ain't going out there and doing nothing. Well, if you go to church, the next time they have Bible study or the meeting where you can say something, go to the church and give your input on how the church could be more effective in the community.
But you're attacking other organizations, programs that are pretty much set in the ways they're trying to do the same thing you're trying to do, allegedly. And I say allegedly because some people do it for the likes and some people do it for the love.
Oh, wait, did you say he's attacking, or you're saying generally people are attacking?
Generally.
Oh, okay.
Not you as an individual. What I'm saying is like when I do in the community, I often come out of my pocket. And I do that because it's usually a shit show, to say lack of a better word. It's about shaking hands, it's about props. And I really didn't come at I could donate to some place and not want a photo because I didn't come here for that. Like, I don't do what I do to get recognition. I do what I do because, like you said, I think just good food and a good vibe is enough to save a community because everybody can let the guard down. Like, hey, I really don't have a problem with you. So what I'm asking you is when you're going to get these 20,000 people, you often have to have some type of filterization stage where you have to separate those who are just doing it for the likes and those who are doing it for the community.
You could tell. You could tell, and you could tell in their actions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's you know when the camera's rolling, you can tell, and basically it's who's proactive and who's reactive, right? So when the camera's rolling,
It's big.
it's everybody out there who want attention. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna knock Black Lives Matter and their efforts, but where are they when?
Where the money at?
Not the money. You know what I'm saying? We know
Where
they
are
just.
they currently now with
I
everything
was-
that's
You know what I'm
going on?
saying?
Right. It was a buzz at the time.
If you-
down.
if you in DC and you in Chicago and now here, you know what I'm saying? Which is funny because, you know, growing up north, the threat was, I'm gonna send y'all down south with your cousin, you know what I'm saying? And that's where you're gonna grow up at, down south, because all that don't go, all the inner city stuff don't go on. Well, it's down here now, you know what I'm saying? So you can't sit. So those and where was I? Trying to make
What
a
you
point.
can't do is worry about what other people do.
Yeah,
If what you're working on, you know, is genuine, it's going to flourish. Bottom line, you know, everybody has an answer, but are they actually executing what they're thinking? Two
Right.
different things, right? What I'm thinking and what I'm doing, does it align? And then am I standing beside someone who's thinking and wondering the same thing? Like you have to attack both. And not attack, but you have to come
Be active
together
on both ends.
on both ends. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? The kids need assistance, the parents need assistance, you know, and there's a way to approach folks. You can't just go up to them and say, you need.
Right.
You can say, hey, I was wondering, do you think that this might be something that you might
Could
be
you
interested
use?
in? Could you use this? You understand what I'm saying? You're looking at a person who grew up in an abusive home, who has been raped, molested, teen pregnancy, high school dropout, suicidal, all of that. You know what I'm saying? 3 girls living in a shelter, you know, having to go into projects, having to figure out, how do I get out of this? How do I raise 3 girls in the projects? You have to encourage people to have a mindset that says, look at your babies. Do you want more for your children? I wanted more for my kids. So I had my house built through Habitat for Humanity, and it's been paid off since 2015. I wanted more for my children. And oftentimes, people are going into communities and they're just telling them what they have to do. You got to go in these communities with suggestions.
Yeah, and those are the people that's the furthest from the problem. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have no connections to them communities, but they'll hold a press conference and all that stuff in the community. You know what I'm saying? It's for the camera. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes some things should be well documented. You know what I'm saying? But you know, based off of, you know, a person's spirit and their actions, if they true about what it is that they saying.
Right.
Oh, because they're gonna do. Their actions
do.
gonna line up.
Exactly.
Their
I
actions
agree.
gonna line
I
up
agree.
with it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna say, man, Hurt don't do nothing for the community. Because somebody who know you can be like, that's a damn lie, man. Hurt
Right.
always doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I wish a person would.
yeah, so
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
She's
Because
fighting for me.
they
I
say
like
no
that.
you.
You,
They know you.
listen,
You know what I'm saying?
don't gas her up. She will.
Do it.
Don't do it.
Vaseline and sneakers in the car. Don't do it.
And she just
Fresh
came
out
for
of
yoga.
So you have to understand that with the power y'all have and the numbers y'all have, I want y'all to understand where y'all pretty much are in the forefront of their series. Y'all have to understand the voice that y'all carry for South Carolina. Y'all are not carrying it for y'all. Y'all carrying it for every individual in the state, including myself. So I myself and CTS would love to donate at least 20 kids towards the Flyers game that night, so we could just get kids out the house. Because that's what Kicking It with Dads is about. We just want people out. Even last year, we had it on the same date. The whole thing was like, we just want people out. The whole thing is like, it's not about competition. It's just about laying your talent on display. And we have so much talent in our urban communities that it's sad that they don't get to blossom because of a culture or a stigma that's attached. So no, I just think salute to y'all, man. Like I said, we want to donate towards that. We want to take 20 kids, mothers, parents, fathers,
and
towards that.
That's the model. That's the model for it, really. You know what I'm saying? That's organizations working together for a common goal.
Metro, money earned through real organizations.
Metro certified.
I'm full of them. I'm so full of
And we didn't get to mention this, but on Sunday, it's a gospel explosion. We
Right.
got like John Lincoln, Jeffrey Lampkin, all of their friends coming out to, we're working with the Brook to see if they're able to come.
Right.
I mean, and it's Father's Day, and we want to honor the fathers, so that Sunday is gospel, and then we'll do a little bit of jazz, and then we'll have the gospel DJ battle, and that'll put us right into raw bass. So we know how to make things flow. Now, if there are some young kids who are trying to get their career going in music, and it's music that we're able to play on stage, we want them. We want them because they are still a key factor in our future.
People take that for granted. I'm serious, Tina. People take that for granted where we say it was so cliche to us that I believe children are the future. Remember we talked about this, bro? Like the kid that we walking past now, that's our doctor, that's our lawyer, that's our judge, that's our fireman. You understand? So like it's so anal that we concentrate on the youth because at the same time, this kid that you're not willing to help across the street may not help you across the street 10 years from now.
Okay.
So
I do want to say for that younger demographic, last year, C Metro and the guy who hosted the Million Man March here in Columbia, they did have a Juneteenth event. They didn't have anything go wrong out there, anything like that. So, it's people out there who are doing it too. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, it'd be cool if it's all of us. You know what I'm saying? Again, one common goal. And that's to bring the community and the people together.
We're in that generation though right now. We're that group where we're not the dreamers anymore. We are at the age of, they always say the best is yet to come or your time is coming. Our time is now. This is it. This is our run. Eventually that new generation gonna hit the 30s and it's their time. So right now, while it's our time, we do link up with different things. Many of us are on multiple groups or organizations or things that we work together, from leading ladies to our tribe to coming together. Big homie, little homie. Many of us work together on multiple different things, all kinds.
Joe Foundation, yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Alex, for sponsoring the event too.
Alex Ryan is a good brother as well. Alex Ryan is a great guy. Very selfless.
But it's a big thing for us to consider that you work with the same people with the same situations, but all of it has a common goal to uplift women, to uplift children, to pull Black men together, to pull a different vow, because we want our children to have a better world. We want all children to have a better world. But like you said, it's a not one or the other. We have to be better. We got to make better moves. We have to make decisions. You can't use your situation as an excuse. Tina has a million things that she could have said, I quit.
Right.
But as like she says, she did that. She did not quit. She kept rolling and kept pushing. It's too easy to give up, but it is hard to go forth and do the things that many of us we want to see happen, but we don't put forth the effort to make it happen. How many times are we writing resumes? How many times are we offering those women that option and giving them suggestions? How many times are we giving a Black positive event? Dads should do things with their kids. How many times do you see people pulling events together for their kids? That's the difference. We can talk about it around the table all day, but what are we doing out there to make that happen? And this is what all of this coming together is about. 20,000 people can come together, listen to music, and have a good time. But we're going to educate you, make you feel good. We're going to sing gospel. We're going to bring back old school. We're going to eat. We're going to laugh. And you're going to go home feeling good, because when you feel good, that's how you act.
Say it loud.
That's true. Let me ask you a rhetorical question.
Yes.
On that. Crystal is absolutely right. I want to point out something that she said in there. How much of your trials and tribulations that mold you to be so gun-ho and ready to take on the world right now? Because no matter how much, both of you I'm accrediting, but within being candid, you accredited her for you laying down and her keeping it going. How much builds you to say, I'm ready for this? Would you put the Vaseline on and the gloves and say, we still got to go for Juneteenth? How much of your past? Because I need every woman, every young female, every single mother, every woman that's going out there to do something. Every woman that love hip hop, love to organize, just want to be behind a man that has a vision big enough that outshines him. How much of your past molded you for this moment now in the future?
All of it.
Right.
All of it. And the reason why it was all of it is because every single one of them had a different impact
Absolutely.
Every single one of them. I mean, I have 3 kids by the time I was 20, living in Section 8, paying $8 a month. Trying to figure out, my girls are going to grow up and be like, Mom, why you didn't graduate high school? Why should I graduate high school if you didn't graduate high school? Why should I do this if you didn't do it? I had to figure out how to be a better example for my children.
Right.
And so with that, my girls want to quit their jobs right now to come work for Juneteenth.
And this is before TikTok. I'm messing with you.
They want to, you know what I'm saying? They're like, Mom, get a building. Let us come work for you.
Tina's a prime example of more is sought than taught. You can tell them all day. We grew up in a generation, do as I say, not as I do. That's a lie. I'm going to do as you do. If you did not work, but you brought home hundreds of thousands of dollars, I don't want to sit in the office and do that. I'm going to copy what you did because you did it. And if I look up to you, they're going to watch you. If you are in an unhealthy situation, guess who's going to think unhealthy is okay? If you are successful, guess who's going to strive to be successful? They copy you. But what I love with her is that she's in a lot of women's groups. There's a lot of candid moments. When those strong times, when those moments hit, there's a lot of reaching out and y'all pray, y'all help, y'all let's talk, y'all give me a moment. If you do not have a support system to guide you through the different things that your purpose is going to take you through, you will fall.
Call me. I don't want you to fall.
I love
I don't want you to fall because at the end of the day, we all are here for a reason and we all deserve the opportunity to be able to grow. So I don't want you to fall. If you're in a situation where you need assistance or you're trying to do something better or you want to create something or whatever, call me. Because at the end of the day, I'm no better than anybody else, but I will find the resources for you to be able to do what you need to do.
I'm gonna call you, man. I'm gonna call you.
I've watched you, Tina, offer somebody a job
people
on site.
Yeah, I offer people job on site because I find a way.
Tina has created a job for somebody on site.
But what I'm saying is we all have an opportunity and I don't want anybody to miss out on their opportunities because you may think that you're not good enough or that you may think that you're not deserving enough. Every single person is deserving of something.
Absolutely.
It's just that oftentimes we come across demons within an individual that makes us say, oh, you know what? I'm not worthy. Baby, you are worthy, male and female. I need my brothers to know I need you. I need you to stand up. I can't do this by myself.
It's a Jill Scott song, just in case y'all didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I think it's great the support system that women have, those groups and everything like that. And I think, men need to do the same thing.
The brothers need to have.
Men need it more.
Did you know that there's no male groups that help males when they're in a domestic violence situation? There's no groups for that.
No.
It should always be,
a group, but CJ Adams is somewhat a part of that. Fatherhood is dope. He's taking it for the fathers that really.
That's information that we need.
And see, what she's meaning domestic violence is you're saying for like
not just child support. Some of these guys getting beat up. They get beat
up because they got some stuff.
No, serious. It's some guys. It's some guys that just believe in the old traditional way, but the woman is not the old traditional woman, and we can't fault that. But we must fault that because of the exposure we have to everything else that's wrong and the lost habits of everything that we pretty much were groomed by. So CJ Adams of Fatherhood is dope. He's somewhere at a small level of trying to get to that. But like you said, like he was on here, he just need outlets. He needs this information.
I can help with that because men reach out to me looking for groups. I
would
don't have
any. CJ, I'll hit you with her number.
And those groups are needed. We have men that come to our Purple Gala that are seeking for assistance.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they come, they listen. And, we find out later that was one of the reasons why some of them came, because they were looking for ways to know how to get out or how do they fix it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm blessed to be able to I have a lot of strong Black males around me. And the very first one that I encountered was Jamal. And so now when I talk to men or whatever, if they don't carry the values that I notice that some of the men around me that I've learned to know what a man is, we can't have a conversation.
Right.
Because I didn't grow up knowing what a man was capable of doing. I knew he was capable of beating my mom's behind.
Right.
That's what I did know. And that's what I thought was love. So I took that on. You understand what I'm saying? And I was in those relationships. It wasn't really until I figured out or learned from others that was not the case. And oftentimes that is drilled from family on down, that this is what it is and this is what needs to take place. But if it hadn't been for him, if it hadn't been for brothers like y'all or other brothers that I work around, I would have never really known what it was how a man is supposed to treat a woman.
That's why it's so big that, women have these conversations. We have women's groups. We stand up. We have candid conversations. We call it a safe space. It's like Vegas.
I hear my name in a lot of those conversations. Y'all bragging me quite well, but
No.
I hear about the private conversations that come back to be publicly.
We do not.
We
That's
do not.
true.
That's not true.
I heard it.
No.
This is what's going on now.
No, that's
You in the room right now.
right, and it's still not happening. So check it out.
I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
The women have these conversations where we have Vegas, where what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, but it's a conversation of, let me tell y'all what I'm dealing with. Hey, but it's real. What happens, we deal with it and amongst ourselves, amongst women, where we're going to talk, you're going to be able to vent, you're going to be able to be vulnerable for a moment in a safe place, and we're going to talk you through some stuff. I wish more men had that, because you don't see, and you can tell, because you see with men a lot, men have their groups where they're loyal to their moments and their people, but like you just said, being with people who you have like minds with, you change. And you got to bring your people up with you. You can't stay in those situations, but you don't have those vulnerable, safe places. Men don't get like that.
So, like earlier we was asking the question, who do you work on? The adult or the children? I wasn't always the way I am now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I had people come in and seen that I wanted to change and mentor me and take notice and take me up under their wing and everything like that. And that's how we got here. But what I'm saying? That's why I wouldn't change anything from my past. People say, if you could take a pill and change, your past. I am, because of my experiences. You know what I'm saying? All of those things.
Got here.
Yeah. So
Jay's not. And let me touch on that a bit.
I still calling Jay
on your bumper.
Jay's nice. I have nothing against Jay. But I want to be transparent here, where you say it's no ego, and I can attest to that. I called you last year when I planned the inauguration of Kicking It with Dads. I said, hey, bro, I got this event. I didn't know if it was going to be the same weekend. I came to your house.
We was going to see if we could do it together.
But the whole thing is, I just appreciated that, right? Of two black men able to sit here, and I can tell you was on your forefront, but you wasn't defensive. You just like, I believe in this, and I was like, I believe in that. And the only thing that broke it up was like, it's gonna be a 3-day event. And I was like, I just want to kickball. right? I'm like, I don't have a kickball game for 3 days. So I basically bowed out. I don't want you to think it was a problem, but that day when we threw it, and we had about 200-300 people out there, first thing I said was, Juneteenth. We won't make this mistake next year. So what I'm saying is the reach of communication. And on the back end, she called and she said, hey, is it going to be a conflict? I said, no. I promoted both events because, like I said, we just want people at the house. But I appreciate that because it's just saying, like, you got to match the energy. Bro, you was so laid back and saying, hey, what can we do? And you was all in everything. It just came down to, it's 3 days. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got that many teams.
Don't worry, he only had one member team at the time too. But you know what? I'm gonna put this out there. That event on the 11th, I want you to have a kickball game. I want you to have a Juneteenth kickball game. Even though you're gonna have your Kicking It with Dad later.
You just put me on the spot, but I can try to do something if you help me.
I want you to bring those kids out and we all play kickball together.
I think it's huge because it's a lot of people here that want to do stuff, that host really good events.
Yes,
it's a lot of people here.
Yes.
But I think one thing we should create is first a community of those people, and then a community calendar where we say, well, we're not going to do this on this date because that's her thing, you know what I'm saying? And we going out there to support him. And we can't do that. But it's another thing too, is, you know what I'm saying? We say this to some of the vendors who signed up is, oh man, can I be here? And I want to be the only one. And the first thing you ask them is, "Man, can you
Like only snow cone machines.
can you
or
service?
That's
But
me,
do you
like,
know what the question is?
Can
I'm
you
saying, like,
service?"
That's the shit. Like I want to be the only funnel cake.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the question you ask them is, "Can you service 20,000 people?"
Can
No.
you service 10? Can you service 5? And can
So-
you service 2?
So it's cool that, you know what I'm saying, everybody ain't
Can't
at,
be too greedy.
at our
And
thing,
you
you
need
know
some
what I'm
people
saying?
out. That's a good example.
I mean, that's what.
That's
We
a great
don't-
example.
we
Like
don't
we
do
got
that.
20,000 people here. You can cover 1,000. Why cut off the other 9,000?
But sometimes you can't even cover 1,000.
You
And
can't.
that's okay. So my goal, and as I told Jamal, is everybody, and he says it too, everybody deserves to eat.
Yes.
Everybody deserves
Money
to have a
earned
good
through the
time.
organization.
And when you have 20,000 people in one location, you darn right, not one food truck is going to be able to service that many people.
Right.
Not at
You
all.
know what I'm saying? And
I'm
I
not waiting in line behind 19,000.
had one lady call me and she said, well,
No,
I can cater to at least 2,000. And I said, 2,000 out of 20, baby. 2,000 out of 20. I'm not being funny.
That's
I
18,000
said,
people still
but
sitting
the
there.
way it's set up, you would be, I can't do that. I cannot do that. So do we have multiple? We do. Now, we do not have the same distribution. People like Mary Kay and Paparazzi. It's only one of those because they're national. So you can't do that. Or they choose not to do that. So I follow in suit or whatever. But I mean, we had 133 vendors last year to include medical, job fair, you know what I'm saying? And all bounce houses.
And then people
know
made
that.
money.
Yes, the
People made
food
money.
tables killed it.
Shout out to whoever that was selling them pineapples, because they left like
It was
500
pineapples.
boxes of pineapple,
That we
empty
had to clean
pineapple
up.
cases that we had to clean up. But no, man, it's you know what I'm saying? I feel like eventually we'll be to the point where it's the entire community's event.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where everybody got a hand in it, everybody coming to the table because it's for the community. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. I know people see, oh, that's the new popping thing. It's some dollars there. Let
Yeah.
me, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's not ladies, bro.
And they gonna
what
they
they
gonna
gonna
do
see.
it.
They're
That's
gonna
what
do
they
it.
gonna see.
But
You know
that's
what I'm
where when you ask them where the success comes from, when you could sit down for a year, yeah, you could sit for a year and rest and plan. But if I know that last year you went out there and you made $10,000, guess who gonna wait till that year come up to get out there?
That's why I said it's
And then if we
crazy.
both make $10,000, now guess who else is coming
The fair
before you
happens
know?
every year.
Sure
The fair
does.
happens
Every year.
And
year.
it's we
Every
complain
year.
about the
They
food
know-
not being the same.
They
We
know
still
exactly
go.
what they're doing. They know exactly when they're gonna run
Fish
it.
fries the same
And they
every
know how many people's gonna be, as far as vendors and all that stuff. They
Yeah.
do that.
They done did the numbers.
We doing the same thing.
Right. You
We
got to.
can do the same thing,
Well,
and
we-
we will continue.
When
Right.
we met with the guy out there, right? You go in the
Oh, boy.
office, you see they got plaques from all of the years, and it says, on one of the plaques for festivals and fairs whose attendance was 250,000. Man, that's something to shoot for.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine 250,000 black
Dream,
people just
bro.
out there
Dream,
having
bro.
a
Yeah.
great time.
Dream.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from a field of marketing promotions. One thing that vexes me, shouts out to Darius Wiley. He had this get together over at Green.
No excuse game.
Yeah, exactly. No excuse game, 4 a.m. game, right? He had this thing at Greenview Park. He asked me to assist on it. He asked myself and Corey LeBou to speak at it. And I think I spoke to this before. I think we had like 47 people today. He provided workshops. He provided food. He provided counseling for parents as well. And he allowed speakers to come there and trades.
Solid guy, man. He shared a vision he had that he wanted to bring to the city, and it got shut down by the city. But
Yeah,
I think
and we spoke of that as well,
Mhm.
right? But he was a bit ahead of his time as far as what he wanted to do with his basketball terms and the facility he wanted to utilize that was just lying dormant, right?
yeah, the old Sam's Club, though.
That night, out of his 47 people, I had an event as well for nightlife. All my VIP tables were sold out. We sold a good bit of bottles, and I know I made a good lick, but we got like 400 or 500 people. And my partner couldn't understand why I was so upset that we had a successful night. And I said, man, I didn't have a successful day. What I really wanted to target was the community. And you can have it free for their kids, you provide food, and they're just not gonna show up. That's why I was asking y'all, what's the sauce y'all putting on it? Because it's not just for me. It's not just for kicking it for that. It's for everybody who's out here trying to have a community event, because big things like y'all take place when small things are in place.
Well, we kill several birds with one stone. when you think about it, we have the home buyer seminar, we have the financial literacy, we have we have South Carolina Works coming in with several of their organizations that are hiring. You have if you're going to have that many people in one area, provide them the tools so that they can still flourish when they leave.
Right.
So that's the difference with our festival compared to every single festival across the United States. We provide tools for people to take with them after they have danced the night away.
Progression.
It's that
Able to
too.
excel.
And
She touches every need. She
I'm
feeds
not,
every
I'm
need.
not going to take away from the fact that it's trending right now. Juneteenth
is trending.
Juneteenth is trending right now.
But we've been steady since.
You know, but I think the thing that helps us with that is we didn't get on when it started trending. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? We had some skin in the game before it, you know what I'm saying, became a thing. And then it blew up. So it's you know, sometimes just like in you know, you say you do it from a marketing standpoint, sometimes it's the product, you know what I'm saying? So we happen to have a real good product that's trending right now.
Right.
And we are having a charge this year. We are at the fairgrounds. And Friday night for the kids or whoever's coming on Friday night, really the kids, it's $5 to get in.
Right.
And then Saturday and Sunday, it's $20 to get in. Right now, the tickets are on sale for $15. We also
Where
have
can they get those tickets from? I'm sorry.
They can get the tickets off of Eventbrite or on our website, JuneteenthFreedomFest.com. And then also, we're having a carnival.
Right.
There is not a festival right that has a carnival for Juneteenth. We have it. We have it. And so, they'll be able to ride rides. They can buy a all you can ride pass for $25.
Oh, wow.
And they get to ride the rides all day. And each day it's a separate price, but
Columbia, South Carolina, y'all should spread this.
$25 to ride all day
Mhm.
at a carnival,
Mhm.
Juneteenth.
yeah.
That's wild. That's so beneficial for those in the inner city who can't afford those tickets at regular price.
So I mean, we just want people to understand that the reason why we had to charge this year and going forward, to be honest with you, is because we are at a bigger location. We are at a safe location, and on top of that, it allows us to spread out. 20,000 people in a parking lot is dangerous, but that was nobody but God watching over us that day.
Right.
And so to move it to the fairgrounds makes it that much better. It makes it that much more fun and
That much credible.
yeah, and people will be able to really just enjoy themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's our goal.
Oh,
We also charging this year so that we can be more beneficial to the community.
Sustainable.
You know what I'm saying? So, you hear people say you can't pour from an empty cup. Well, that's true. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel you. The first couple of years before it got, you know what I'm saying, to this point where we got these nice sponsors coming in. Thank you, Midlands Honda. and Healthy Blue. And
Wire Monkey.
And House of Hathor
And Prisma Health.
Prisma,
Southern First.
and Dick Smith.
Oh, and the latest.
City of Blythewood.
See what I'm saying? That the growth, it's just the growth from that first restaurant that y'all did to the sponsors you just named. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And that y'all did that in 5 years.
5 years.
I'm sorry. Also, cannot forget,
County Council has been.
cannot forget Richland County council members who have contributed to this, and also Kiera and Julia Streeter from Extraordinary Headhunters. They sponsor a lot of events around here, and they've been supporting
And
us.
they're our sponsor for Dondria, bringing Dondria in.
Yeah.
And then, we just wait for the city of Columbia to jump on.
The cool thing about what y'all have done today, or what y'all talked about, that if you don't take away anything else, if you first go out and your first moment, it isn't what you expected. You don't have 1 billion people out there. What if they stopped? What if they didn't keep going? What if they said, the city's not into it, so we're not going to do it? What if he didn't call Tina and bother her that night? In 3 weeks, they made it happen. 2 weeks, sorry, 2 weeks. What if you didn't keep going? I don't care if the first event has 1 kid, 1 person, 1 family, 1 house, nobody. I don't care if you only help a half a person. Make sure that you keep going, because that person tells a person who tells a person who tells a person. And before you know it, you got a room full of people that you got to get help to work through things with you. So before we close out, I really want you both to leave people with a closing remark. Now, I will tell you this, I do it all the time. They're going to fuss, Hurt going to get me when I get off because he said I spend too much time. Shut up.
Oh, spin. Yes, you definitely do.
Ain't nobody asked you nothing.
Women be shocked.
There ain't
Women
nobody
be
asked
shocked.
you to co-sign with your
Women be
homie.
shocked. They be shocked.
I will make sure that between now and June that we will give away Juneteenth tickets, and we will give away ride tickets.
Rooftop tickets to the June 4th.
I was talking about the Freedom Fest, but hey, we're gonna do
Everybody's
June
plugging.
4th
Everybody's plugging.
and June 4th and Juneteenth, that we will be giving away tickets all of May. So this is our last April show. In May is giveaway May for the CTS podcast. Any events coming up in June that are Herc related or regarding Juneteenth, even with Kicking It with Dads, we're going to definitely host giveaways. So tune in, keep us locked in and posted, tag us, share it, go on Juneteenth site, do everything you got to do, but let's show up and show out in a good way. Come June. Tina?
I just want to say, listen, no matter what's going on or what's happening in your life, and if you need a little bit of assistance, just call me. My foundation is She Did That Community Advocate Foundation, and we assist families and individuals that are currently having moments where it's a struggle, and we're here for that. Now, as far as Juneteenth is concerned, listen, if you have children or young adults, teens that are doing music that is appropriate, we would love to put them on the stage. I think that they're our future, and we want to sow into that. And also, I want to tell you, where you're at this moment is not your final destination. So keep pushing.
I don't know how you can follow that, but good luck to you, brother.
Thank you for coming out. See you next week.
Again, we appreciate everybody. Be with us in May for the giveaways that we're going to plug in. We're giving away ride tickets. We're giving away event tickets. We're giving away June 4th tickets. We have giveaway the gala. We honoring people. Come out and support. We are going to definitely do our giveaways for those days. So please, please, please log in, load in, and we'll see you back next Wednesday. Good night.